What's going on, Card Family? How's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday. As I was saying yesterday when I made my little Dez Bryant video working on a rainbow of his that I had, I was saying, yesterday probably wasn't the best day for me to make that video and talk about that situation. Given, that just had found out what was going on with that the Cowboys had released Dez. So figured I'd come back and talk about it a little more today. Sorry about the camera being all over the place. I'm taking some Dez's. Let me stationary this camera here. Like this. Sorry about that. I was getting the Dez's out of the current Cowboys box, and I figure I'll go through them while I talk. I feel like I created the confusion that, my issue with the Cowboys moving on from Dez was, the impact on my card collection. And I wanted to clarify because I saw, Jets Boy made a video, a couple comments here and there. Really is not my issue at all. A huge bulk of my collection is players that no longer play for the Cowboys. Players that either retired or moved on to play for another team. Emmitt Smith, he went to the Cardinals. Michael Irvin, I think I got that one from Fourth Quarter Hits. Appreciate it, man. Michael Irvin, I believe this was the first card I bought when I got back into collecting in January of last year. Michael Irvin, laying on the field in Philly with the Philly fans cheering for his injury. He left. Troy Aikman retired early. Drew Pearson, Tony Dorsett was a Bronco. Sure, you go through players leaving. And like I say, a lot of my collection is, players that aren't Cowboys anymore, and that's fine. To me, this really didn't have anything to do with my card collection. I'll keep all of these cards. I'll never sell my Dez's. I became a huge fan of Dez, naturally when the Cowboys drafted him, because I liked his story. I liked that he was troubled coming into the league, and he sort of turned things around, so to speak. Became a dominant receiver. He is the Cowboys' all-time touchdown leader. I believe since he's been in the league, he's caught more touchdowns than anyone in the NFL. He's made his mark with the Cowboys. Hey, like you say, it happens. Teams move on, and that's okay. My issue was more, sort of about the way they did it, but mostly, I feel like Dez is being made the scapegoat, and I hear people that don't really, know the situation commenting on, Dez has regressed, his catch percentage was low. Yet you don't really pay attention to Dez Bryant, Cowboys, you like, I don't know everything, the ins and outs of your team. There's a lot more to it. And there's a lot of videos out there that go through Dez's targets, where Dak was putting the ball. I love Dak Prescott, but the bottom line with Dak is his accuracy on certain throws leaves a lot to be desired. And there were a ton of situations where Dak is targeting Dez, and Dez is looking for the ball where it's supposed to be. that's not where the ball is. And, you know, what I had hoped was that Dak and Dez together, because I believe Dak can be a franchise quarterback for the Cowboys. But what I was hoping is Dak and Dez would have an opportunity to work this out together, to figure this out together. They didn't. That's okay. But I really, really believe a lot of this is on Dak. And, you know, Dez can still get open. Look around on YouTube. There's countless videos showing Dez running open, showing Dez wide open, and the ball's overthrown, the ball's thrown behind him, the ball's thrown low, the ball's not on time. Dak makes the wrong read. Dak throws to the wrong person. It's happening. It happened a lot. Last year, over 40% of Dez's targets were uncatchable. Did Dez drop a lot of balls last year? He did. He dropped, depending on what metric you use, he dropped 9, 10 passes last year, which was pretty much tops in the league for drops. Historically, Dez is not a drops guy. The year before, I think he dropped 3. You know, Dez has never had stone hands. He's never been a guy that drops passes. Did it ever occur to anyone that when you're continually running routes and you break open, or you hit your spot and you turn around or you look and the ball's not there, that maybe that inconsistency makes it a little harder to even catch the ones that are there, because you never really know when they are going to be there? It's just, I'm just thinking out loud. You know, there's more to it than just Dez. I do hate to see him go, but you know, that's, like you say, that's the business. I just don't like the blame and people suggesting that, you know, he's regressed, and maybe he may have, but it's not all him. And lastly, and I said this yesterday, you know, go look at Alshon Jeffrey's stats. I believe he was, and this is off the top of my head, he's 120 plus targets. His catch percentage was pretty brutal, but he produced in big moments. He caught touchdowns. He wasn't over 1,000 yards. You know, I believe Dez could easily be that type of player, and help a team win and win big. I believe he could have been that with the Cowboys, but he wasn't given that opportunity. He wasn't given an opportunity to take a pay cut. And again, all that's fine. So, with that being said, Dez goes into the past and retired Cowboys box with the rest of the Cowboys greats. He takes his rightful place, and it clears out room in the newer box for Calvin Ridley or whoever it is that Dallas decides to bring in. This is Dallas, in my opinion, going all in on Dak. You're saying Dak is the man. Dak is the guy you win with. So I hope this succeeds. I believe in Dak. I believe Dak needs to work on his mechanics. He needs to work on his drop. He needs to work on his timing. He needs to work on his accuracy. But I believe he's poised, and I believe he's special. So I think he can do that. And Dallas is a run-oriented team. So anyhow, I just wanted to clarify my thoughts on Dez were never about the cards. I'll always have my Dez cards. I love the guy. It's been, you know, my favorite Cowboy for several years now, just like many other Cowboys have been. And that is part of it, you know. I just don't like the way he was done. And as a fan, you know, I believe we all have that freedom to think and have our own opinion and, the way we see it. And I think Stephen A. Smith and guys like this blew this up because it's the Cowboys. I get it. People want to talk about the Cowboys. Anyhow, that's my rant. I'm done with it. Ready for whoever they draft. Hell, if it's nobody, maybe Allen Hurns is the number one. Whatever. Appreciate y'all watching. Keep it real. Oh, and I wanted to add, if you do make it about the cards, for me, this is just another great reason to collect vintage because I know what those guys' careers were. I know where they ended up. So, yeah, I love going with the old stuff. And I do collect all Cowboys. I never collected just Dez. He just happened to be one of my favorite players, as is Dak. Appreciate y'all watching. Keep it real. I'm out. If you made it through this whole video, you're a champion.